In the bustling studios of Good Morning America, the morning light filters through the windows as Mark Wahlberg, the rugged Hollywood star known for his intense roles in films like The Departed and Transformers, steps onto the set with his trademark Boston accent and confident stride. He's there to promote his latest action-packed blockbuster, a high-stakes thriller that's already generating buzz at the box office. But little does the audience know that this routine appearance is about to erupt into one of the most talked-about moments in daytime television history. George Stephanopoulos, the seasoned journalist with a sharp wit and unyielding pursuit of truth, greets Mark with a firm handshake and a smile that hides the probing questions he has prepared, questions that delve into Mark's controversial past. His transformation from a troubled youth involved in street fights and legal troubles to a family man and devout Catholic who starts his day at 2:30 a.m. with prayer and workouts. The interview begins smoothly, with George commending Mark's dedication to his craft and his entrepreneurial ventures, like his burger chain and fitness line. But as the conversation shifts to Mark's views on redemption and second chances, the tone begins to simmer with underlying tension, Mark's eyes narrowing slightly as he senses the direction George is steering. Viewers at home, sipping their coffee, watch as the two men exchange pleasantries, but Mark's body language, crossed arms and a subtle lean back, hints at the storm brewing beneath his calm exterior. George, ever the professional, transitions seamlessly, asking about the film's themes of morality and justice, drawing parallels to Mark's own life story that the actor has shared in memoirs and interviews. Yet there's an edge to George's voice, a challenge unspoken but felt, as if testing whether Mark has truly evolved or if old demons linger. As the interview delves deeper, George Stephanopoulos leans forward, his eyes locked on Mark Wahlberg, posing a pointed question about whether Hollywood's forgiveness culture truly absolves past mistakes or merely glosses over them for profit. Referencing specific headlines from Mark's early career that painted him as a hot-headed rapper-turned-actor with a rap sheet. Mark, caught off guard but quick to respond, counters with a passionate defense, emphasizing how he's owned his errors, served his time, and used his platform to inspire others, his voice rising slightly as he recounts the rigorous daily routine that keeps him grounded. Prayer, exercise, family time. Arguing that true change is evident in actions, not just words. The studio lights seem brighter, the audience hushed, as George's follow-up probes the sincerity, suggesting that public apologies might be performative in an industry driven by image. A comment that hits Mark like a sucker punch, his face flushing with frustration as he slams his hand lightly on the table, retorting that no one has the right to judge a man's soul without walking in his shoes. Tensions escalate when George brings up recent criticisms of Mark's selective storytelling in interviews, implying hypocrisy in preaching redemption while avoiding full accountability. Words that ignite Mark's temper, leading him to point accusingly at George, shouting, "You can't say that. That's not fair, man. I've changed." The exchange turns heated, with Mark's Boston accent thickening under stress, his words tumbling out in a mix of defiance and vulnerability, while George remains composed yet firm, pressing for clarity, the camera capturing every micro-expression. The vein pulsing in Mark's neck, the slight smirk on George's face that could be interpreted as smugness. The argument intensifies, voices overlapping in a cacophony that drowns out the studio's ambient hum. Mark Wahlberg standing up halfway from his chair, gesturing wildly as he accuses George Stephanopoulos of twisting his words to fit a narrative, yelling, "You're not listening. I've paid my dues 1,000 times over." While George retorts calmly but cuttingly that accountability isn't a one-time payment but an ongoing dialogue, citing examples from Mark's film choices that glorify violence despite his preached pacifism. Sweat beads on Mark's forehead under the hot lights, his muscular frame tense as if ready for a fight scene. But this is no script. It's real emotion spilling out, the actor's eyes blazing with a mix of anger and hurt from years of media scrutiny that he feels never fully acknowledges his redemption arc. George, unflinching, references leaked set stories of Mark's demanding nature, suggesting a pattern unbecoming of a reformed man, which pushes Mark over the edge, his shout of "You can't say that about me?" echoing through the studio, prompting a gasp from the live audience and frantic cuts to commercial by producers scrambling to salvage the show. In that charged silence post-outburst, Mark's chest heaves, his mind racing through memories of prison cells, rap battles gone wrong, and the hard climb to respectability via blockbusters and business empires. contrasting sharply with George's polished career from White House correspondent to TV anchor, a man who's grilled presidents yet now faces an unpredictable celebrity. The moment captures the essence of live television's unpredictability, where egos collide and truths are laid bare, with crew members frozen, unsure whether to intervene, and remote viewers glued to screens, phones in hand capturing the drama for eternal online lore. Chaos reigns as Mark Wahlberg shoves his microphone aside, the clip detaching with a sharp snap that reverberates like a gunshot, his chair scraping back as he rises fully, pointing at George Stephanopoulos and declaring, "This interview is over. I'm done with your gotcha games." While George, eyebrows raised in surprise, calls for calm, stating that walking away only proves the points raised about evasion. The audience murmurs in shock, some applauding Mark's stand, others whispering in disapproval, as security edges closer but holds back, knowing the value of the unfiltered moment for ratings gold. Mark storms toward the exit, his entourage scrambling to follow, but pauses at the door, turning back with a final barb about media bias against real stories of change, his voice cracking slightly to reveal the vulnerability beneath the rage. A man who's built an empire on resilience now feeling cornered by his history. George, regaining composure, addresses the camera directly, apologizing for the abrupt end but defending the line of questioning as necessary for informed viewership, his words measured to mitigate fallout while subtly underscoring the interview's intent. Behind the scenes, executives huddle in panic mode, debating edits and statements, as clips flood the internet, dissected by pundits on every network from CNN to Fox, framing it as everything from a meltdown to a heroic pushback against elite journalism. Mark's phone buzzes non-stop in his pocket with messages from agents and family, the actor retreating to his trailer to process the whirlwind, reflecting on how one heated exchange could overshadow his film's release and personal triumphs, yet also affirming his no-nonsense approach to life. In the hours following the explosive confrontation, social media ignites like wildfire, with hashtag Mark loses it topping trends, users posting memes of Mark's pointed finger and George's stoic face, alongside serious analyses from psychologists on anger management in the spotlight and ethicists on interview boundaries. News outlets scramble to cover the story, interviewing former colleagues of Mark who vouch for his transformation, sharing anecdotes of his generosity on sets, contrasting with clips from his wild youth, while defenders of George highlight his track record of holding power to account, from politicians to stars, arguing that no one is above tough questions. Mark Wahlberg, cooling off in a New York hotel, contemplates the fallout, his faith guiding him to pray for understanding, perhaps issuing a statement via his publicist emphasizing respect for dialogue but rejecting character assassination, turning the narrative toward his ongoing commitment to positive change. George Stephanopoulos, back at the anchor desk, fields questions from co-hosts, maintaining professionalism while internally assessing the segment's impact on GMA's reputation for hard-hitting content, potentially boosting viewership amid the controversy. Fans rally around Mark, citing his roles as underdogs who triumph, flooding his pages with support, while detractors pile on, dredging up old scandals to question his sincerity, creating a polarized discourse that mirrors broader societal divides on forgiveness and media roles. The film's promotional tour adapts hastily, with Mark appearing on friendlier shows to reframe the incident as a passionate defense rather than loss of control, using humor to diffuse tension, like joking about his intense interview style mirroring his action hero personas.